Good morning, Ed Wunch with the Oklahoma Bar Association Law Days. My guest this morning, Ed, good to have you.
Good to be here.
All right, so Law Day's coming up. We're a little early on this, but wanted people to have time to get ready for this. And to me, it is one of those really unsung public services that the bar does for people that they need to know about because, I mean, the pandemic, we've got elder scams, with all these different things. So you folks are trying to help people in Oklahoma understand some of these topics. Tell us how you're doing it this year.
Sure. So Law Day, every year we celebrate it around May 1st. This year we're celebrating it April 28th. And what we're doing on April 28th is we're going to have volunteer lawyers. We're expecting over 100 lawyers that are going to be answering phone calls and answering emails from the public to go ahead and hit common legal questions. We understand maybe it's hard to know when you need to seek a lawyer or whatnot. And this sort of thing, we're not going to go ahead and put you in touch with a specific lawyer, but just individual volunteer lawyers. You call in with your legal questions and you'll get an answer. We're going to have lots of lawyers with different expertise answering questions. So like you said, if it's the elder scam, if it's a custody dispute, if it's a housing issue, if it's a estate planning question, you can call in on April 28th and we're going to go ahead and try to answer those questions for you.
One of the things that people have talked about constantly as we've been through the pandemic was evictions. I know the bar's been working on some of that, but those sorts of things in terms of issues just from the pandemic. Of course, y'all have never faced that before. So are you ready for those?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the benefits that we've got. We've got volunteers from various nonprofits. We've got attorneys in private practice. I mean, you hit us with a question, we can usually point you in a right direction. Last year when I was there on Law Day, I was there all 12 hours and we were going ahead, and if someone called in and one lawyer didn't know the answer to the question, they would just go ahead and hold their phone up and say, hey, we've got an eviction question, or we've got a COVID question, or whatever the question is, and then someone in the room could usually go ahead and come up with an answer. We also usually have a little guidebook, little shortcuts for some statutes and things that can be a good reference for lawyers too.
How did this begin?
So this began back in the 1950s with Law Day. Was originally a way to go ahead and educate the public about our rights as Americans and things like that. And so it began back in the 50s as Know Your Courts, Know Your Liberties Week by an attorney named Hicks Epton out of Seminole. He eventually wound up being president of our Bar Association, went on to collaborate with President Eisenhower, and Law Day came about in the early 1960s. As a national project. As far as answering questions, the Oklahoma State Bar Association, we've been doing this for 47 years. This is a way for lawyers to give back to people and to go ahead and get the resources out there, because we understand that maybe not everything rises to a level where you need to go out and immediately seek an attorney, but you just need some guidance. We do this every year and we're really happy to do it.
I like Ike. The millennials are like, who's Eisenhower? Which brings me to this question. Do you have an age breakdown? I mean, who's most in need of this information? And
so that's really the wonderful thing. It really runs the gamut, where it can be older individuals, it can be younger individuals. It's really wild there when you're in the room answering those questions. You really get all sorts of questions from everyone over any sort of topic. And I mean, again, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you've got legal needs and you want to go ahead and get a quick answer, call in on Law Day.
Okay, so good segue. Let's take a look at a couple of graphics here. One is there is a phone number that you can call, and there's a website to go to, okbar.org, and a phone number. And we'll make sure people know. And there it is, 405-493-9131. Ed Wunch with the Oklahoma Bar Association Law Day. Good luck. Thanks for everything you do.
Appreciate it.
See this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts, and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.